Hello all, myself Sambasiva rao, working as Assistant Professor in the Department of Civil Engineering at VNR VJEC. Today the topic of discussion is GATE 2027 Preparation Strategy for Civil Engineering. So by now you might be familiar what is meant by GATE. It is Graduate Aptitude Test in Engineering. It is basically an entrance exam to pursue Masters or PhD program at IITs or NITs. Many public sectors also recruit people through this GATE only, and it is also an important prerequisite exam that you need to qualify to get into research organizations like BARC, ISRO and DRDO. And very importantly, many of you undergraduate students who have aimed at landing in NIT or IIT to pursue their UG, it could not be possible because of the huge competition in JEE mains, JEE advanced. So, but this is a very important opportunity, which have opened doors to pursue again your masters or PhD programs at NITs or IITs. So the GATE 2027 is going to be conducted by IIT Madras, and the validity for GATE score is 3 years. So if you are going to take up the examination in 2027, so the score is valid up to 2030. So you can register for masters or PhD program in any of the 3 years, like immediately followed by 2027 or 2028 or 2029. So these are the important dates that are being released in the website. So the opening of the applications is going to start on 14th of August, and the examinations are being scheduled throughout the month of February, and the results are going to be announced in March. So today I am recording this video on 1st of August, and assuming that our preparation ends by January 2027, we still have 6 months of our valuable time in our hands. So 6 months is not a short time. So assuming that, telling that excuse that we don't have preparation, so we'll give up for GATE 2027. At the same time, it is not too huge time for working professionals or students who are pursuing their third year or final year of your BTech. So this is an actually appropriate and opportunistic time. So you have to make use of this time effectively and go ahead with your preparation. At the same time, I just suggest you people that this GATE preparation should not be a 2-year or 3-year long-term process. It should be like one-shot, gunshot process. So you should clear it immediately in 2027, and you should land in NIT or IIT for pursuing your masters. That should be the only motto for your preparation. So the exam question paper pattern is listed over here. So the mode of the examination is going to be computer-based exam, and the medium of instruction is English, and the duration for the exam is 3 hours. So coming to GATE examination, time is going to play a crucial role. Unlike any other exams like SSC JEE or RRB JEE or AE, AEE or banking sectors, their time is a constraint. We'll be falling short of time. But coming to GATE exam, we'll be having 65 questions, out of which 30 are 1 mark questions and 35 are 2 mark questions. So 30 into 1, 30 marks, and 35 into 2, that is nothing but 70 marks. Put together, we are going to have 100 marks. So the exam is for 180 minutes. So each mark is going to have 1.8 minute. So that is very important. So 1.8 minute is a very big time that you can solve the question very easily. At the same time, the people who are taking up the GATE examination, we are not targeting for 100 marks. At marks, we are going to target in this preparation strategy, I'm going to target only for 60 marks. So it means nothing but 1 mark out of 180 minutes, 1 mark you can take somewhere around 3 minutes of your time. So 60 into 3, 180 minutes. So you can have plenty of time, like 3 minutes for solving a question which is equivalent to 1 mark. And the type of the questions you can see is multiple choice questions, which are nothing but MCQs, which we are provided with 4 options. And at the same time, multiple select questions from the past 2 or 3 years, it has been implemented over here. So you have to select either 1, 2 or 3 or more. So you have to have more than one option. At the same time, numerical answer type questions, which are nothing but fill in the blanks. And there is also negative marking for these questions. So questions are going to carry, just like I have mentioned, 1 mark questions and 2 mark questions. 1 mark question is going to carry 1/3 of the negative mark, and 2 mark questions are going to carry 2/3 of the negative marks. Only the negatives are present only in multiple choice questions, and we don't have negative marking in multiple select questions. But however, we are not going to give partial marking in multiple select questions. If 3 options are correct, you have to opt 3 of the options. If you have opt 2 of the options, and you cannot ask for half a mark like that. And coming to civil engineering, so there is another concept called second paper category over here. So civil engineering people can also take examination in any of these papers listed over here. One is nothing but aerospace engineering, agriculture engineering, architecture and environmental science and engineering, and geometric engineering. So some of my students who have cleared GATE and have got triple digit rank in civil engineering paper were able to get a double digit rank or single digit rank in environmental science and engineering. So I just advise you people to take a secondary paper also, and if possible better go with environmental science and engineering. Based on that you will have more scope or more opportunity to go for diverse specializations for pursuing your masters. Coming to the marks weightage, so this is irrespective of the branch of engineering in which you are taking up your GATE examination for engineering branches. So the general aptitude is going to carry 15 marks, and engineering mathematics is going to carry 13 marks, and the core engineering is going to carry 72 marks. And if you look at the weightage of the subjects in civil engineering, I have listed only high scoring subjects, leaving some of the other subjects. So the structural engineering is going to carry 16 to 17 marks. Again, these are tentative marks varying from the past 5 to 10 years. And geotechnical engineering alone is going to carry 13 to 15 marks. A huge weightage is being given to geotechnical engineering. And water resource engineering again 12 to 14 marks, followed by environmental engineering 10 to 11 and transportation engineering 10 to 11. So the strategy which I have designed for this GATE 2027 is 6 months we are having, just as I have mentioned. Today is 1st of August, and assuming that we are ending the preparation at January ending itself, so we are having weekdays time for your mock test preparations or revision process and all. 6 months, our aim is nothing but to score 60 marks, and you have to invest 600 hours. Very, very important. This is nothing but 600 strategy. 6 months of your preparation, your target is 60 marks, and you have to invest your 600 hours. So I have brought it down to some micro scale, so in which I am going to have 20 days of preparation in a month. So this is nothing but 1 month. I am taking only 20 days of preparation in a month. I am excluding Saturdays and Sundays for your revision process, and also at the same time to take up the test series on Saturdays or Sunday, or if you find you can accommodate any of your personal works also. So every month you are targeting for 10 marks, and at the same time every month you are going to invest 100 hours. So 1 month, which is nothing but 20 days excluding Saturdays and Sundays, and 10 marks is your strategy, and you have to invest 100 hours. At the same time, if you bring to nanoscale, which is nothing but one single day, right from today August 1st, you have to prepare 5 hours a day. Either you are unemployed, whether you are a graduate student of 3rd year or final year. I forgot to mention that there is an option for 3rd years also. I recommend all of 3rd year students also to apply for this examination, and it will be a handy for you to qualify in this year itself and get a better rank in next year. So one day you are going to invest 5 hours to get a 0.5 mark. So by seeing this, you might be worried like 5 hours has to be invested to get a 0.5 mark. Yes, that is the weightage that GATE is going to carry, because when you land for pursuing masters or PhD in IITs and NITs, why I am telling PhD means there is an option for direct PhD also in IITs and NITs. You are going to get a stipend. So that is nothing but MTech people are going to get a stipend of 12,400, and MTech people based on type of fellowship, you might be having either 35, or if it is a PMRF scholarship, you are going to have more than 70 like that. But of course that is going to start in the 2nd year. So if this is the process, so GATE examination you need to take it in a serious manner and give an attempt thoroughly. So at the same time, what I am doing is I am not preparing all the subjects. Again, the strategy is 6 month strategy for 60 marks for 600 hours. I am going to select only these particular subjects. What I am going to highlight is nothing but these 4 subjects: geotechnical engineering, water resource engineering, environmental engineering and transportation engineering. 4 subjects along with general aptitude and engineering mathematics. So I have all over 6 subjects. Very, very important. I am relaying only this particular 6 subjects, and I am having 6 months. So you can schedule your preparation going ahead like one single subject, one single month. So in this first 20 days, in the month of August, you can go ahead with your preparation for geotechnical engineering. At the same time followed by water resource engineering, and next followed by environmental and transportation. I'll come with this order again. What is the order that you need to follow for preparation? But my target is nothing but only 6 subjects for 60 marks. So these are the subjects which have been listed. So the first one is very, very important, engineering mathematics. So many of the engineering students have a tendency or have a resistance towards this engineering mathematics. I'm telling you again, this is very, very important, and you cannot skip this engineering mathematics, because when you land for pursuing masters also, this linear algebra or is going to come everywhere in your duration of your MTech. So this matrix algebra very, very important, and system of linear equations and eigenvalues and eigenvectors. Of course, I cannot exclude a single component of this engineering mathematics, but however, you go ahead with your thorough preparation for some of the subjects. And calculus again, you mean value theorems and local maxima and minima, Taylor series is very, very important. And ordinary differential equations, degree and order, at the same time partial differential equations, probability and statistics, you have to prepare thoroughly. Why? Because this is going to be your postgraduate course for any of the branch of engineering, any branch of specialization in any of the engineering streams. Why? Because you have to come across with this probability and statistics everywhere. And numerical methods is very, very easy and interesting, so you can score easily in this concept also. And next one, coming to verbal aptitude. So any engineering student who is familiar with basic mathematics and all is going to excel in these concepts and all. But however, even if you practice 100 questions in this area of this general aptitude, you are going to encounter with 101 question. It means nothing, but there are going to be different models. So every time that is going to be a surprise. So if that shouldn't be a surprise for you, you have to practice n number of questions, and such that your model should not be a surprise. Of course, there can be a numerical variation. So that is how your preparation should be, like this in this general aptitude. And coming to the order of the subjects, I have listed 4 important core engineering subjects for civil engineering. But the order which I am selecting is in a different manner, where I have listed in a different manner, like geotechnical engineering, followed by water resource engineering, environmental engineering, and transportation engineering. But coming to transport, I am selecting the first choice as transportation engineering. Why? Because I have worked out a parameter which is said to be the marks divided by syllabus. So in this component are syllabus divided by marks. So for less amount of syllabus, comparatively less amount of syllabus you study, you are going to get more number of marks. That component or that parameter is going to have huge parameter for this transportation engineering. Very easy subject, a generalized subject where everybody can easily understand and score well in this transportation engineering. Of course, there are some addition of syllabus in this 2027. I have highlighted them over here. Coming to transportation infrastructure, geometric design of highways, very, very important. Starting from gradient, camber, cross-sectional elements, what is meant by roadway, carriageway, and ROW. Side distance is very, very important. Stopping side distance, overtaking side distance, and other intermediate side distances. Classification of roadways, design vehicle, horizontal and vertical alignment, again very, very important. Superelevation, extra widening, and followed by vertical curves, and grade compensation. And geometric design of railway tracks, we have to look after the speed, cant excess, cant efficiency, and permissible speed of the trains. And coming to airport airways, it is very, very small topic that you can score completely. So calculation of runway length and corrections for runway length in terms of gradient correction, elevation correction, and temperature correction. And there are small formulas for taxiway and exit taxiway. And coming to pavement materials, you have to look after right from the aggregate tests, all the basic tests on aggregate. Particularly very, very important, you have to look after shape tests like elongation index, flakiness index, and angularity number. Every time on alternate years, there are going to be one single question on this area. And tests on bitumen also, and properties of bituminous mixes. And very, very importantly, flexible and rigid payments, design factors. And rigid payments, you have to concentrate on load stresses, followed by temperature stresses, daily variational or seasonal variation. Coming to traffic engineering, very, very easy subject. You can understand it easily. Traffic volume, traffic density, and speed, along with peak hour factor. And next one, macroscopic parameters and microscopic parameters like headway spacing and time headway, and followed by travel time. And there are traffic signs and Webster method of signal design, followed by intersections and highway capacity and level of service. This is a small topic, and level of service has been added in this particular year. And transportation planning, this is actually an MTech syllabus which comes under U2P, urban transportation planning, which have been included in this year. So 4 steps of travel demand modeling, trip generation, trip distribution, model choice, and traffic assignment. There are small numericals on trip generation and trip distribution. So that is an again easy concept. You have to spend somewhere around 5 hours on this topic. So all put together you have to spend 100 hours. So that is nothing but you can take this as first month or target for August month, and you complete this syllabus. It is very easy that you can complete in even 15 days also out of 20 days, and you can accommodate some other structural engineering subjects because we have left it as a choice. And coming to environmental engineering, very generalized subject. Any student who is pursuing BTech, irrespective of branch of engineering, can easily understand these basic concepts. So water and wastewater quality and treatment, basics of water quality standards, looking at alkalinity, hardness, and what is the relation between alkalinity and hardness, and followed by what is temporary hardness, what is permanent hardness, what are biological parameters of water, what is meant by COD, what is meant by BOD, and water quality index, unit process and operation, water distribution systems, and what are the standards for drinking water, what are the different permissible levels of each and every chemical. And at the same time, this water treatment is going to start from source, that is nothing but any water source, to the home, and followed by the second part is going to start from home. So this is nothing but wastewater treatment. So it is coming back from home to the again water body, which is nothing but the source. So this is the component which is going to deal with wastewater treatment. And here also primary secondary treatment, effluent discharge standards, very important, sludge treatment and disposal, like that. And air pollution is very easy concept, you can wind it up in hardly 2 or 3 hours. So what are the primary pollutants, secondary pollutants, what are point pollutants and aerial pollutants, followed by air pollution control and standards, and what are the different fumes, different categories and all. And municipal solid waste management, their characteristics, generation, collection and transportation of solid waste. And this year there is a new concept that has been added, and basics of landfill design and operation. So this again a very easy subject, you can target for 1 month again. And very importantly, geotechnical engineering. So there is a belief that even if you prepare geotechnical engineering alone, along with engineering mathematics and general aptitude, you will get somewhere around more than 30 marks, which is a decent score, but you cannot think of going for IITs and NITs. You can show it in your resume that you have qualified GATE. That is the weightage which is going to have in the geotechnical engineering. But at the same time, proportionally the syllabus is also huge, and you have to invest a lot of time, and you have to remember so many number of formulas. That is very important about this subject. So 3-phase system, like you have soil, water and air phase, like 3-phase system, relationships, index properties, and classification of soils, coefficient of curvature, coefficient of uniformity, and like that and all, permeability. So again the same thing, I cannot exclude even a single heading also from this chapter, from this topic and all, because every heading given over here is going to carry 0.5 or 1 mark. So because as we are having the weightage of 15 to 17 marks and all, so at the same time, but I can recommend you to stress more on compaction of soils and consolidation time, rate of consolidation, shear strength, and this particular concept, stress and strain characteristics of clay and soil, clay and sand. And of course again this component is some other component, but you concentrate more on this first half of that geotechnical engineering. And coming to water resource engineering, we have different components all put together over here again. Fluid mechanics, fluid properties, starting from over here. So this is again interlinked subject and all, you have to go in a proper manner. So laminar and turbulent flow, followed by flow in pipes, head losses, pipe networks, and concept of boundary layer, again concept of lift and drag. Coming to hydraulics again, immersed bodies and meta center, flow measurement in channels and pipes. This is also very important. And critical flow, hydraulic jump, uniform flow, different types of hydraulic jumps and all. Uniform flow, GVF, gradually varied flow. And this is a new concept which has been added. You need not to worry about this new concepts which have been added over here. Maybe you can just skip those if possible. And coming to hydrology, hydrological cycle, precipitation, evaporation, evapotranspiration. This is again interesting concept. Flood estimation and aquifers, very important. And coming to irrigation, this is again crop water requirements, duty, delta, evapotranspiration, gravity dams, and again this topic which has been added in this year 2027. So again the same way you have to spend again 100 hours for this, which is nothing but 1 month. And very importantly for this GATE, every week you have to go for revision strategy. For example, if you have targeted some 2 weeks, first week is fluid mechanics followed by hydraulics in the second week. So at the end of the first week you have to revise all the concepts of fluid mechanics, and the second week you have to revise the concepts of fluid mechanics and hydraulics. Like that it should be. And every after 15 days you have to take up any test series. You have to register for any test series according to your convenient and practice. That is going to impact a lot. That it will increase your marks minimum by 5 to 10 marks. So if you practice thoroughly. And next one, geomatics engineering. So this is also a small syllabus, but again the marks are in the order of 5 to 7 marks. So I did not include this in your core subjects and all. If you want to study more, you can study on this. So plane surveying and geodetic surveying, most importantly, you rely on this error and their adjustments. Leveling, very importantly. So leveling and trigonometric leveling and triangulation survey. Followed by these are the again concepts which have been added this year: digital photogrammetry, space resection, and like this and all. So you study the basic concepts of surveying. And structural engineering, again we did not include this in our main syllabus, but again there are some important topics which you need to focus over here. Engineering mechanics, so this is again going and revolving around you everywhere. So system of forces, free body diagrams, resolution of forces and frictions and center of mass. And solid mechanics, you concentrate this bending moment, shear force diagrams, at least these concepts and all. Flexural and shear stresses, M by I is equal to F by Y is equal to E by R. That will remember it as may I follow you, Elizabeth Rani. That is a shortcut for remembering this. A small numericals on this is very easy. And column buckling, particularly Euler column, what are the effective lengths of different end conditions and all. And combined stresses also important. So that's it. I recommend you to go ahead with this preparation for this subjects and all. And there is another subject, construction materials and management. So this, if you want to take up any other examinations like SSC and RRB, this subject is going to carry huge weightage, but coming comparatively for GATE examination, the weightage is bit low. So if you want, you can accommodate in your preparation, but as I said, your preparation should be like pen and paper. It should not be running through the synopsis and assuming that you'll qualify in the examination. There have been instances or examples where the persons who have got 9 pointers also cannot qualify the GATE. So it is not at all related to your semester grade points and all. A person who is having a grade point of 8 can also qualify and get a rank somewhere around less than 2000 and can go for IITs also. So that is what the weightage that is having for GATE. So at last we have come to this test series, where the importance of the significance of this test series. You will be able to sit for 3 hours. You better reflect or simulate the exam conditions and all. Sit for 3 hours, put your mobile aside and open any mock test for the last academic year 2026. There is a website, you can open that and you can see the type of questions which are available there, and every time you take up the examinations you will be habituated to that process. So it will familiarize with the actual GATE exam pattern. Why? Because you have to jump from subject to subject, because the questions may not be of the same subject in the order. So you have to jump from single subject to other subject, one formula to another formula, like that. It is altogether writing an exam is an art. So even if you are prepared for 1 year, I have again forgot to mention this also. GATE exam is not something like which you have to study only for the final year of your engineering. It is actually inclusive of all 4 year subjects and all. So once you complete your first year, I don't recommend to go ahead with preparation first year only, but by the end of the first year you will be able to study all your engineering mathematics concepts and general aptitude also. So right from second year to 1 onwards and all, if you are able to master one single subject every semester, 2-1, 2-2, 3-1, 3-2. So 4 core engineering subjects plus mathematics and general aptitude, you have 6 subjects in your hand. So it is not at all a burden, and it is very simple to qualify the GATE examination. But only dedication and the consistency very importantly. So you have to accommodate, as you have taken a strategy and all, you have to invest every day 5 hours. It's not like that you study 6 hours tomorrow also, but at least you should study 5 hours today. Maybe if you want, you can study 1 hour extra also. But the consistency, that pattern, the revision process and the pen and paper practice, simulating the exam conditions and using the virtual calci and calculating the negative marks and all, seeing out how you are ending up with the final marks and all is very important. And it improvises your time management. So the way of selecting the questions also, as I've mentioned, out of 65 questions and all, we are not going to solve each and every question. So you're going to select the questions in an order. Maybe there might be a question which is going to take 5 to 10 marks, but it is going to carry 1 mark. So you don't have to prove your caliber over there by selecting that question and solving for 10 minutes, and you are the only person in the entire GATE examination who have solved that question. There is no use of that. So you have to stop doing research in the examination. That is one thing you have to remember. So for which you have to take this time management, where you are spending huge amount of time, and at the same time speed and accuracy both are important. There is no meaning if you don't have accuracy but you go at higher pace and all. So both are important. Identify weak and strong areas. Yes, you might be thinking like I'm very familiar or I'm extremely good at doing transportation engineering, but unluckily you are ending up with some small calculation errors and all, and you are ending up with a negative marks and all. So that makes you understand that you have to go to the end of the answer, and like that and all, it will help you in finding out the weak and strong areas, and enables performance benchmarking. Maybe you can register for any proper test series and all, where you'll be given awarded all India rank and all, or else you check your ranking or increment in marks from day to day or week by week. That is also one thing what you can do, and enhances your revision and confidence. So every time you come across with a new question on one particular week when you are taking up the test series, you better take that question in your notes and all, and you check the solution if you couldn't do that. And these questions are going to accumulate before the examination. By the end of January, you'll be coming across like some 30 to 40 questions and all. These questions will help you again, some 3 or 4 questions that itself will appear in your examination also. So there is one website which is said to be GATE NPTL, which is offered by NPTL portal for GATE aspirants and all. So I have done a video on this particular mock test preparation and all. You can go through this mock test process. So that is the end of our discussion on GATE 2027 preparation strategy for civil engineering. I sincerely acknowledge the use of publicly available resources that supported and enhanced the visual clarity of this presentation. Thank you.